Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the front line with Joe and Joe, Joe Pasillo and Joe Rossinello. And once more, let us go into the breach. Joe, I always liked Ben Stein. He's got that very kind of monotone voice, but he's funny. He's a bit of a Renaissance man. He knows a lot about a lot, whether it's economics and many other topics. Okay, so here's his quick comment, and then I want your comments on what's going on with Donald Trump and these indictments.
Former President Trump being indicted for what to me seem like the phoniest charges I've ever seen in my life. He is the former President of the United States. He won tens of millions of votes in the last election. It is not at all clear that he's done anything that in any way endangers the national security, and yet he is being indicted and has the possibility of spending the rest of his life and several other people's lives in prison. I think we're now in an occupied country, very reminiscent of Paris under the German occupation. Scary.
It is scary, Joe, because it's not like when the left cries, "You're a fascist." Okay, yeah, okay. There's nothing fascist about us, but when you are a sitting United States president, Joe Biden, okay, and your cohorts, because he'll deny it. He's got some level of plausible deniability. He'll say, "I got nothing to do with that." Those are independent DAs that want to prosecute Trump on charges. I have nothing to do with it. Him and his party are seeking to put in prison the foremost competitor to their nominee, whether it's Joe Biden or anybody else. Okay? Because if Donald Trump, left to his own devices, is going to win the Republican nomination, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's almost a lock.
What kind of country? These people really want to call this America? That Trump is being charged with things that these idiots do every single day? That Biden had papers all over the place? There's so many reasons, and everybody's heard it on social media, so we won't rehash it here. We know everything they're throwing at Donald Trump is because they do not want him to become president, because they know he could win. Ben Stein is right. This is what they do in totalitarian regimes. They're not giving the American people the nominee of their choice, which right now, Joe, amongst conservative Americans, is Donald J. Trump. Help me, Joe. Help me, please.
So much to unpack. And here's the thing. We don't know Stein's political affiliation. For all we know, he could be a Democrat. For all we know. I don't know. And he's saying something that is objectively true. This is a dangerous practice. Many legal minds have said they have nothing. And that should trouble people.
Right.
Whether you like him or not. What it basically is saying is this. Me, i.e. the establishment, says what the people want is not good enough. It's similar to Brexit. The people wanted Brexit. The establishment of England said no. No. And it's the same thing that says we don't have a democratic process. And the hypocrisy is becoming, this is one of the good things that Donald Trump brought out, the hypocrisy and the corruption of our country is as palatable as the worst of the countries on the globe. And I'll be honest with you, what will say this so clear, more so even than it is now, is if he gets put in jail and he wins the presidency from a jail cell. Do you imagine it? That he is put in jail, his name is on the ballot, and he wins. That will bring to light. This should bring to light. But Joseph, I'm going to tell you right now, people don't care about the rule of law. You see, an objective person should say this: I don't like Donald Trump. I'm not going to vote for Donald Trump. But what they're doing to him is not just. And it should scare not only me, but everyone in America, because you're next.
There's so much there. Let me go with this, okay? Here's what I want from Republicans. This is what needs to happen. Kevin McCarthy, he is the Speaker of the House, and whoever the most powerful Republican senator is. Mitch McConnell, unfortunately, is obviously going through a health issue, okay? Whoever the most powerful, outspoken Republican in the Senate, let's say Ted Cruz, Mike Lee, somebody, okay? They get the two Democrat leaders of the House and the Senate, Schumer and I guess probably Pelosi or whoever they want. And they get them in a back room and they say, listen, call off your dogs. Call them off. Okay? Because we're gonna make a promise to you right now in a back room. Nobody's listening, no cell phones, no press, no anything. McCarthy should say, if you go down this road and don't call off your dogs, I promise you, everything that shady thing that we know you do, we will expose. And we don't care. The country be damned. The government be damned. Call them off, or else we start exposing all the shit that you do. All right? That's what needs to happen.
But the thing
and
is,
another thing, real quick, and I want your
okay.
comments on this and that, is, Joe, does this have to do with Donald Trump? Or are they really telling the American people, we don't care who you vote for?
Well, that is true. And what you're saying is right. What it's saying is the establishment rules and your vote means nothing. That's what it says, because that is exactly what you're seeing before your eyes. That's point one. But point two, talking about the Republicans talking to, let's say, Schumer and whoever else, Joe, they're part of it. There's only a handful of free thinkers in our government on both sides of the aisle that don't play ball. They all play ball. They have power and they're not willing to give it to the people. And that is what's at the root of this. And it's being exposed more and more people are seeing it. And if you ask me, that's one of the good things that Donald Trump brought out to the American people. We do not live in a democratic process. It is an oligarchy. And both parties, what you said makes perfect sense. Why aren't the Republicans doing it? Because they benefit from the system too.
Joe, there's an annoying video going around. If you really want to, let's stay on this a second. Usually our videos don't go this long. Let's stay on this a second. There's an annoying video going around from 2020 with a bunch of Hollywood actors, Deborah Messing, Martin Sheen, all these people, right? Begging 41 electors, okay, members of the Electoral College, after Trump won the Electoral College, to do what is right and use their conscience, okay, to do what is right, because someone who is unqualified to be president and unfit to be president, you should do something about it. Don't vote for Hillary Clinton. They say, don't vote for Hillary Clinton. Just vote for somebody else. Vote for somebody else. You can vote for whoever you want. But it's dripping with condescension, Joe. It's dripping with disrespect. Donald Trump is unqualified because you say he's not qualified? Donald Trump is unfit because you say he's unfit? Bill Clinton raped the woman. And heaven knows what else he did to all those other women. That didn't make him unfit? Okay? Really? I mean,
what it should be,
my point is, and I want your comments.
Because what
Again,
it is,
go ahead.
it shouldn't be unfit. What should be replaced by that is they don't benefit me. You see, whenever they say democracy, it's no, replace that with my power, my agenda. It has nothing to do with unfit. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with democracy. It has everything to do with me.
Right.
And if the people want to elect a dog catcher, that's what a democracy is. And they're not interested in a democracy. They're simply not. And it's becoming more and more apparent to people. I hope that continues, because before it gets fixed, people have to have their eyes wide open to it. It doesn't matter if you don't like Donald Trump. Don't vote for him. But here's the deal. He has to have a fair shake. If he is not getting a fair shake, we don't have a rule of law. The justice system is a joke. The democracy is a joke. And frankly, no one is safe. No one.
Well, I agree with you on that. And as always, Joe, I'm going to end with you because you said it best. Thanks for joining you here. Thanks for joining us here at the front line with Joe and Joe. And stick around for more great content.